I'd like to call the January 28th Board of Education Budget Regular Meeting to order. We could have a moment of silence. Flag salute?
It's over there.
It's over there.
I pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, a public notice of this meeting has been sent to board members, all district schools, the Herald News, the Suburban Trends, the Record, the Messenger, West Milford Town Hall, the County Superintendent's Office, the Board Attorney, Cablevision of Warwick, and West Milford TV 77, and posted in the administrative building. Copies of the board meeting calendar resolution were provided to all local media, Town Hall, Township Library, and all district schools. Roll call, please, Mr. Schultz.
Mr. Sitovich?
Here.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Here.
Mrs. Jurgensen? Mr. Lippy?
Here.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Here.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Here.
Mrs. Ricano?
Here.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Here.
Mr. Guarino?
Here.
Thank you. Superintendent's report, Dr. Kitchen.
Yes, so for my superintendent's report, we have another recognition ceremony this evening. So with that, I would like to turn it over to Mr. John McCarthy from the West Milford Lions Club, and he's going to do a presentation with some of our award winners here.
Thank you, Dr. Kitchen, and to the Board of Education for allowing us to be here tonight to present our Lions Peace Poster Contest Winner Awards. I am the Peace Poster Contest Chairperson for our local club. Presenting together with me is Suzanne Picala. You can stand up with me. Thank you. Who is currently our first Vice District Governor for Northern New Jersey, and also the Peace Poster Contest Chairperson for both our Lions District and for our entire state. We also have several club members here tonight for this special occasion. Lions Clubs International is the largest service organization in the world, with more than 1.4 million members in over 200 countries. The West Milford Lions Club has been serving our local community since 1956. Within our numerous charity works and service projects is an important connection to our schools. This includes free eye screening for children pre-K to first grade, our West Milford High School Scholarship Program, the Lion Chuck Entering Health Fair and Wellness Family Festival, the Student Council Spooktacular Trunk or Treat, and of course, our Peace Poster Contest for students ages 11 to 13. For over 3 decades, Lions clubs around the globe have been sponsoring this very special art contest in schools and youth groups. We are so proud and grateful for Macoupin School's longtime involvement in this meaningful program, where students express their visions of peace and inspire the world through art and creativity. On behalf of our entire club, I would like to extend a sincere thanks to the West Milford Public Schools Administration, Macoupin Middle School staff and students for their fantastic participation in this year's contest. Our special thanks go out to Dr. Furnari, Mrs. West, Dr. Matlos, Mrs. Poet, and Mrs. Rieseman for their work that reinstated the Peace Poster Contest as a class project this year. As a result, 144 works of art were submitted to our club.
This year's contest theme was Peace Without Limits. Our young students were asked to create a poster that speaks to our world's infinite potential for kindness once we commit to pursuing the idea of peace without limits. It is our great pleasure and honor to present our Macoupin School winners, their awards. Our runner-up winner receives an Achievement Award certificate, and a $25 check from our club. Congratulations to Andrew Vasapolo from the 6th grade.
Gotta hold that up and maybe right behind you. Turn it around to the TV.
Photographers, why don't you go on this side, you get a better view this way.
Excellent job.
Great job.
Amazing. Great job.
Just stand right behind me. That's a great photo.
Stand right behind him.
And then Andrew, come on over here. We're just gonna present this to you as well, and then you're gonna stay here. There's your certificate for runner-up, and there's the check from our club.
Our first place winner receives an Achievement Award certificate and a $50 check from our club. Congratulations to Noelle Reaver from the 7th grade. There we go.
Yep, all the way around.
Oh, my
Wow.
That's beautiful. Great job.
You can go a little bit closer too, because there's a special.
Everyone needs to see these posters because they're just beautiful.
That's amazing.
That's great. And show it to the camera, to your camera.
Wow.
I can tell you, it's so hard to judge this contest because I'm an art teacher myself, and it's just incredible. The work we get every year and the amount of work we get from West Milford is amazing. So it's a wonderful thing, it really is. We're thrilled to share some really good news with you, that Noelle's poster was submitted to New Jersey Lions District 16N judging, where she also won first place. So she represented us for the state as well. And Noelle will be receiving a special award at our Lions District 16N meeting this coming April. So thank you and congratulations again to our 2 winners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to our winners. I know I speak for everybody at this table when I say these type of recognitions are our favorite part of these meetings, right? There's a lot of things that we do as a district to keep ourselves functioning, and there's a lot of action items that we pass each month. But you know, what we really care about is the impact that it's having on the community and the students that we produce. So thank you so much. I would actually ask real quick before we put the posters away, can we get our 2 recipients to come on up here and take a picture with the board as well as our reps from the Lions Club? Would that be all right?
Yes.
Just kind of stand up this way and we'll stand behind you here. Mr. Winston, can I get you to take a picture for us?
And the parents too. Parents.
No.
Yes, parents.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Okay.
That works. Dr. Matlos, come join. This way.
Go under the table.
Yeah, we have to.
Lorraine.
You don't.
Just kidding.
Maybe like the parents.
Can I get on your shoulders?
Get up there. Can you come back towards us a little bit? And then maybe like the slightest little squat down?
Now lay down.
Come on, you know my way.
Very good, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Up next, I would just like to also announce that this month is School Board Recognition Month. There is a motion that we will be reading a little later on in the agenda. I don't want to take our focus away from our award winners here, so just want to make mention of that with more to follow later on. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Megan Seidner for our student representative report.
Good evening, everyone. So this is very fitting because mid-December to late January has been a key time for awards and accomplishments, so this fits very nicely with the lovely accomplishments that we saw here today. So here is the debrief. Starting strong, a tremendous congratulations to our West Milford High School Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Burns, and our West Milford High School Educational Services Professional of the Year, Mrs. Lambert. West Milford High School students had the opportunity to enter a local oral essay contest, The Voice of Democracy, for the Veterans of Foreign Wars organization. The winners are Lauren Harmon, who advanced to the district level, Amber O'Connor, and Rachel Crumper. Congratulations and continue to write with passion. We have more incredible news from the Veterans of Foreign Wars organization. Mrs. Petrosillo is crowned the 2025 Veterans of Foreign Wars New Jersey State Teacher of the Year. The VFW Citizenship Education Program recognizes the educator's passion for teaching about the America's traditions, Americanism, civic responsibility, and citizenship, honoring the flag and our nation's history, and instilling a sense of patriotism and national pride in students. Congratulations. In the English department, congratulations to the Journalism and Modern Media class, who took second place national award for the American Scholastic Press Association for their 2024 literary arts magazine, Black and Gold, The Highland Review. If you'd like to submit any art pieces or literary pieces for the 2025 edition, please see or email Mrs. Petrosillo. For the final literary award, yours truly will be representing West Milford High School for the annual Poetry Out Loud competition on February 6th at Passaic County Community College for regionals. Now for our musical competitions, accomplishments at competitions, because we are very skilled here. Prepare your pink outfits. The West Milford Theater has chosen Mean Girls for the spring musical and has been very busy rehearsing. We have a very star-studded cast, as Sophie Grizzuti is Regina George and Jillian Rasp is Katie Heron. Shows will take place March 13th, 14th, and 15th, with the Senior Citizen Special on March 12th. Very nice. Tickets will be available online, and good luck to cast Break a Leg. 2 of our West Milford's band members have been accepted into New Jersey All-State Band. Congratulations and best of luck. What an incredible accomplishment. On January 18th, the Indoor Color Guard held their preview show. With the theme of cathedrals, they are looking forward to a successful competitive show season. On January 24th, the West Milford High School PTSO held a brilliant test of knowledge with their 2nd annual Mike Rose Trivia Night, emceed by our very own physics teacher extraordinaire, Mr. Mike Rose. Roughly 70 people were in attendance, and Team Junior Geniuses won the esteemed GOAT trophy, it was an actual goat, and prize money. Congratulations and stay sharp. Now on to our sports news. Get loud for the lacrosse team. For only $25, you can purchase a Loud Cup and help support the boys and girls lacrosse teams at West Milford High School. These purchases directly fund uniforms and equipment for both teams. If you'd like to order one, please see a lacrosse player. The boys basketball has won 7 of the last 5 games, including a 64-45 win over Lakeland. The team has earned their first win against Wayne Valley in 6 years, with a final score of 65-56. Augie Lajusik leads the team with 147 points. The girls basketball team is also off to a great start with a record of 9-2, beating Lakeland with a final score 50-42. Laurel Space leads the way with a team-high 119 points. Both teams are seeded for counties for the first time in many years. Beautiful accomplishment. The wrestling team had a tournament against Kinlawn, Vernon, and Butler. The Highlanders were able to bounce back from a rocky start to their season and beat all 3 teams. Our female wrestlers also competed in a first ever invitational tournament at West Milford on Sunday, January 26th. Beautiful work and keep it up. In boys fencing, the team has started a 2-4 record. The boys have a big wins over Butler and Morris Catholic. Gavin Janitz has led the way with a team-high 11 wins. The girls fencing team has a 1-5 record with their lone win coming over Indian Hills by a score of 15-12. Victoria Van Tassel is leading the team in wins with a record of 15-3 in the Sabre event. The winter track athletes had a great showing at the county championships. We had many personal records and we placed 8th overall. The winter track athletes had a fantastic showing at conference championships at Ocean Breeze. We have a lot coming up for this one. So Tyler Munier won both the high and triple jump and took 5th in the long jump and the 55. Accompanying him in the 55 final was Kyle Gloria, who took 6th in the 55 and 1st in pole vault. Colby Scott also made the final, placing himself 8th, but took 6th in both the 200 and the long jump. And he took 2nd in the triple jump. On the distance side, Evan Lynch took 4th in the 800 and 7th in the 1600. Sierra Clinton took 1st in both the 1 and 2 mile, while Ariana Moran took 3rd in high jump. Emma Carson took 6th in shot put. Incredible athleticism all around. For boys and girls bowling, In the first BNC preseason tournaments, the girls took first and the boys took second. In the PCCA tournament, the boys took second and the girls took third. The boys are currently 7-2 and the girls are 4-4. Good luck to all bowlers as they continue to advance in their season. The ice hockey team is well into their season currently with a record of 5-10-1. The team has upcoming games against Ramapo, Passaic Tech, and Wayne. Keep up the great work. Unified basketball is back. The team took on Bloomfield basketball where they lost, but the team showed great sportsmanship and perseverance. And they won at Pompton Lakes. Lastly, for our sports, Unified Swim held their first ever meet and performed beautifully, showing incredible support for their teammates, respect for the game, and determination despite their loss. Good luck. Now for a brief look into the future. The West Milford High School Choir is holding a mattress fundraiser on Saturday, February 1st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Maccabin Cafeteria. There will be 25 different styles of beds on display for customers to try. The beds are new, brand name, made to order, available in all sizes, and cost less than retail stores. In addition to beds, there will also be luxury pillows, premium sheets, mattress protectors, adjustable power bases, and corduroys convertible chairs. Coziness awaits. In other organization news, the National Honor Society will be sending out letters to the eligible juniors and seniors as soon as the second marking period grades have been entered and the GPAs have been calculated, which is tomorrow. As long as a student has a 3.75 or better, they will receive a letter of eligibility inviting them to apply to the society. Expect these letters to be distributed by the middle of February. Freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, this one is for you. Make sure to select your desired future courses. Meetings with your guidance counselors will be held within the first weeks of February. The meeting times are posted on the bulletin boards on the first floor. Prepare for an incredible night. Coming on March 8th is the Wizards basketball game sponsored by the Highlander Education Foundation. Save the date for this fun event featuring great skills, teamwork, awesome dribbling, alley-oops, and crazy slams. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to updating you on West Milford High School next month.
Wow,
Please
well
enjoy
done.
the rest of your night.
Megan, I know I say it every month, but you're the best. It really is amazing how thorough you are. I cannot imagine how much time it takes to put that together. So thank you. And that's it for my report for now. Again, I'll go back to the board recognition at the end of the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Kitchen, and thank you, Megan. Amazing job as always, and you took 2 of my points again. It's okay, I'll still say that when it comes to me. But Mr. Novak, Assistant Superintendent, reports.
Thank you. I'm still juggling how to use the microphone and the device. We'll figure it out. Yeah. So I just want to, at the workshop meeting last week, we talked about the opportunity for us to apply for the esports grant that has recently been put out by the state. So I just wanted to comment on a few activities that we started. Right now is an exciting time with the start of the third marking period. If you remember, we won the computer science grant at the end of last year, which led us into a big shift in the way we're talking about computer science and computer programming and the types of things that we're doing here in West Milford. With the third marking period, our new cybersecurity course has started. We have a number of kids who are a part of that program who have never taken a computer science course before. So this was the idea that it was a high interest to give more students access to the computer sciences. In addition to the launch of the cybersecurity course, which is part of the grant, we are also in the process of sending out information about our computer science club, which is it's a middle school club, and it's being run by our computer science teachers. So everyone should be on the lookout for that. Middle school parents at home, you'll have opportunity to sign up. That's something that Dr. Matlos and Dr. Belzer will be sending out at the end of the week. We are also hopefully approving tonight the Maccabin Esports Club. And that is something that we are anticipating is a good precursor to the completion of the esports grant. Within both of these clubs for the middle school, we are hoping to increase opportunities for students to get their hands on programmable devices, access to computer science, access to the expertise of our computer science staff at the high school and the middle school, so we can encourage a more robust entry into our high school programs. So I teased at the workshop meeting that in February, we're going to be presenting something different for what we've done in the high school before. We're going to be talking about college and career pathways. We're going to have a pretty decent presentation here at the February board meeting. One of those pathways that we're going to identify is a computer science pathway, which is going to, hopefully put the cap on a lot of the things that we're building towards as we build that interest in Macoupin for our middle school students, our current students in the high school, to just, really bring our kids into that next level and access to those programs. So, be on the lookout for, middle school parents, be on the lookout for, those club opportunities coming up at the end of this week. And then I'll, continue to check back with everyone and let you know how our cybersecurity course and our progress towards the esports grant goes. Are there any questions about esports? I know sometimes we talk about esports, there's sometimes a perception that it's just, video gaming. Right, so in, within esports, it's not just about access to gaming. So what the research behind the grant and the research behind what esports does, it brings a, high interest activity that all of the, so many kids are involved in. So many kids find themselves in successful social environments, also engaged with gaming, and it brings gaming, out of the individual student sitting in their home to a club activity with, physical togetherness in a classroom. And it's not just about gaming, it's about all the aspects about event planning. So in an esports competition, you have students who are participating not only as high-level gamers, but there are students who are involved in the marketing, the advertising, the broadcasting, the color commentary during the events. There are students who are, behind the scenes doing the recording, doing the sound, understanding the networking capabilities of the devices. So that's the premise behind an esports program. It's not just students playing Smash Brothers. That's fun. Mario Kart, those types of things. That's great, but it's about the background of it. And when you look at what we're trying to do with our pathways, we're trying to give our students access to, highly engaging content that can have a payoff for a high wage, high interest career down the road. And, every time we talk about esports, I feel like every month, the $1 billion number on the industry of what it creates goes up, I feel like every time we talk about it. So we're going to be providing our students access to that opportunity and that career path, and we're at the beginning of something really fun. And we believe, just like the computer science grant, if we hadn't won the computer science grant, we still could have offered the computer science club and the computer science and the cybersecurity course. And I believe that we are able to offer an esports club and the this foreseeable future of an esports program, even if we don't win the grant. The grant will be great, just like it was with computer science, but we're seeing now just the discussions that we're going to be moving forward and looking to bring that process to West Milford with or without the grant. And I'll keep everyone in the loop. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. Special reports and correspondence, Mr. Schultz.
Sure, I have the minutes for the December 17th, 2024 workshop regular meeting, the December 17th, 2024 executive session, and the January 2nd, 2025 reorganization meeting.
There we go. All right. Read it again. December 17th, 2024 workshop regular meeting minutes, the December 17th, 2024 executive session minutes, and the January 2nd, 2025 reorganization meeting minutes.
Could I have a motion?
I'd like to move the December 17th workshop regular meeting, December 17th executive session, and January 2nd reorganization meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain on January 2nd because I was not present.
Okay.
And I will obviously abstain from December 17th.
Because I, too, was not present.
Okay. You got that, Mr. Schultz?
Got it.
Okay. Okay, President's Report. Thanks to Ms. Seidner, you took two things that, but I will still mention them. I just wanted to congratulate Mrs. Petrosillo and the journalism students for being awarded a second place award in the national contest for the American Scholastic Press Association for the 2023-2024 West Milford High School Literary Magazine Black and Gold, the Highland Review. Congratulations. And again, Mrs. Petrosillo was selected as the VFW's High School Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Petrosillo was selected from over a dozen other candidates for this honor. The VFW Teacher of the Year Award contest recognizes exceptional teachers for their outstanding commitment to teaching Americanism and patriotism in their students. I just wanted to congratulate Mrs. Petrosillo for those two amazing achievements. And that would end my President's Report, and we can go on to public comment. Is there anyone wishing to speak on agenda items?
Move to close public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so now we move on to, sorry, coming down, the agenda. Any amendments to the agenda? Dr. Kitchen, I'm assuming not?
No, anything that is in there is visible to you, so
Okay.
it should be
Yep.
ready as you can view it.
Okay, so could I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, education, Mr. Sadovich.
I'd like to move items 12.2 through 12. I'd like to move. No, just kidding. I'd like to move items 12.2 to 12.11, and also hand carried 13.2.
Any discussion?
Don't all jump in at once for a second.
Oh, yeah, second, sorry. Any discussion? I actually had a couple of questions. One was, hold on, I just want to make sure I get the right, the out-of-district aid contract, 12.7 and 12.8. I noticed that the amounts were a little bit different, but it was for the same out-of-district placement, different students. I was just curious why there was a different price for the aids. One was for $30,805, and the other one was for $32,330. I guess I just found it a little strange that it would be two different numbers for the same academy. I'm not sure.
So often the aides come with their own professional background and experiences, as well as the types of services they provide those students, depending upon the programs.
Okay.
So that may be a reason why that there is a difference in
Yeah.
salary, just like our staff have the backgrounds that they have, whether it's certain degrees or qualifications that may affect their salary overall.
Okay, okay. And that's what I figured it probably was. I just wanted to ask. The other one was for 12.9, this Speech City. I just was wondering if you could explain why. So this one is an increase of almost $20,000 from last month. I was just curious if you could just
So
explain.
what has occurred at UGL is that when we began the school year, we had a speech therapist that had a schedule that became untenable with the amount of needs that we had. So what we did is for the months of September through January, we were seeking a speech therapist agency to provide those services as a way to supplement the needs that were on the schedule that she had. We weren't able to find one right away, and what resulted in that was a backlog and a logging or services that became compensatory in nature, so we had to continue to find someone. When we located Speech City as the vendor, they began in, I believe, February, and then what has been revealed over the last few weeks has been the need for those compensatory services being made up in order to stay compliant for the upcoming school year. If we weren't able to add this, we would be facing a backlog of sessions going forward. And so the goal for this additional is to make sure that by the end of the school year, there is no compensatory services that are required.
Okay. Yeah, I just find it striking that it went up by a third in a month. You know, that was the only reason. I figured it was probably because of compensatory. So thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
That's it for me. Any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, roll call, please. Mr. Schultz?
Mr. Sitovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Racano?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Personnel, Mrs. Racano?
I would like to move items 14.1 through, 14.22 and 15.1.
Second.
Any discussion? But before we go into the discussion, I just wanted to speak to the retirements that are on here. I wanted to congratulate Mrs. McCourt and Mrs. Nebeker for their upcoming retirements. Mrs. McCourt has given a little over 38 years, and 31 of those in this district. Mrs. Nebeker has given almost 38 years to our district. We wish you both all the best in the next chapter of your lives. Congratulations on your retirements. Any other discussion? Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
You have to do your mic.
God, technology. I'm very sorry to see, very sad to see both of these women leave. Mrs. McCourt was a phenomenal kindergarten teacher when I was young, and I subbed at Apshua. I just remember her smiling face and her love of the children, and it's sad to see that that time end. With Mrs. Nebeker, I can't say enough good things about her. The kids absolutely adored her. She was there for them. She helped so many teachers through so many rough times. I'm talking as a person, she's loving, giving, and just such a loss to this district. And I hope we find someone as good as she is to replace her at the high school. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mrs. Dwyer. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please, Mr. Schultz?
Mr. Sitovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Reluctantly, yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Racano?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
And Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Operations and Finance, Mr. Lippe.
I'd like to move Operations and Finance 16.1 through 16.10. It appears there is no hand carry there, correct?
Correct.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Sitovich?
This is just a note that I think the board should also consider in reviewing the audit and the management report that our surplus and what gets designated into the future year's budget is still decreasing. So despite the fact that we had the unfortunate circumstance of raising taxes again twice in 1 year, we still have issues that I'm sure Mr. Schultz loses sleep over. So let's all be considerate that this has a lot of findings that we need to consider in the future and this upcoming budget cycle.
Thank you, Mr. Sitovich. Mrs. Van Dyke?
We're going to have a presentation from the auditor next month?
Yeah, they're going to come to the February meeting.
Okay, so they'll talk about,
Yeah, they'll talk about the audit and everything and the usual presentation that they do.
Any other discussion?
No.
Just a point to the members, we talked last month about the possible recommended abstentions, but I'm noticing that in the payroll line, it's not in there. So please be advised that you're responsible for your own abstentions, and we will make sure that it's on the upcoming agenda.
So that'll be next month.
Yeah, I apologize that it's not on this month, but I noticed that I wanted to point it out so that you are responsible for your own abstentions.
And it's 16.6, correct? Right,
So I
the
guess
yes.
16.6 is payroll, and then any other thing you would be abstaining from.
It's all in the one, okay, I didn't see that.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please, Mr. Schultz.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes to all, and abstain from 16.6.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
I will be responsible and abstain from 16.6, and yes to the rest.
Mrs. Racano?
Yes.
And Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes to all, and I will abstain from 16.6. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Policy, Mrs. Marquardt?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to move items 18.2 to 18.4.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Sotovich?
Sorry for being so chatty tonight. If Dr. Kitchen wouldn't mind explaining how we're handling certain motions on here, because we are adopting essentially the first reading.
Yes, for the, which one is it here? What's the number? It's Spectator Code of Conduct on 18.3. So if you remember, we were notified by Strauss, I was notified by Strauss Estimated Training back in the fall of the requirement to adopt a Spectator Code of Conduct during this school year. We collectively as a board decided, I think coming from the committee, we decided to adopt a policy immediately because there was a policy that existed through school boards, although Strauss Esme did not yet have their policy. Strauss Esme came out with their policy in the most recent policy alert. It is nearly identical to the one that we had previously adopted, but obviously we want to adopt the Strauss Esme version. So in terms of functionally, what it's replacing is more or less the same, which is why we've already gone through first and second reading with that initial policy. So we're going to, for this one, just be adopting it in a single reading and abolishing the other one, so that same basic policy is up there, but it's the Strauss Esme version.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please, Mr. Schultz.
Mr. Sotovich?
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Lippy?
Yes.
Mrs. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Racano?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
There is no hand carry for policy, so committee reports, liaisons, Parks and Recreation, Mrs. Dwyer and Mr. Guarino.
Nothing at this time. They'll probably start up in February.
Thank you. Safety, Mrs. Racano and Mrs. Dwyer.
For the first time in probably 8 months, I have a report.
Yeah.
Oh, how did I miss this?
We met, and the reason why we haven't had a meeting is because the district was waiting for the state police to go through all of our buildings and provide us recommendations. And we had a wonderful presentation from the state police Sergeant Bambara, who just went over a high level of some of the things that they found going through our buildings. One of the things that he said that was most striking to me is that only 31 districts out of the whole state take advantage of this service. And, you know, it's completely free, and I understand a lot of districts use their local law enforcement to handle this sort of a thing, but I think it's a feather in our local police's cap that they said, hey, bring them in, let's see what they have to say too. You know, let's not do this in a vacuum. So they have, if every school was given a report of things in their building that, you know, could be an issue. We are tackling them. Mr. Glenn from our facilities is tackling them as we can. There's some low-hanging fruit that can be done immediately. There's some things that are going to happen over spring break. One of the simplest things that I don't know why nobody ever thought of this before, was on some doors, we had double doors with looped handles that someone could essentially chain and lock people in the building. So those handles have since been rectified and fixed. Another thing was that when looking on the outside of a building, we have room numbers, and they should always be in the upper leftmost window of the classroom, so that, you know, if the fire, police, whoever, when they go into the classroom from the outside, they know where the one room starts and the other starts from the exterior. So those are just like simple things that we can fix right away. There were some things that, you know, they're gonna take some time and budget, so we have to plan for them. But it was a great meeting. Sergeant Bambera was awesome, giving us the feedback. Other things that they spoke about were, you know, the monthly school drills. And one thing I really love about this meeting is seeing all of the principals there and them being so engaged in this. Like, they really want their students and their staff safe. And when they talk about their drills and they say, well, this worked for me, but maybe it won't work for you, and they collaborate, it's really a cool thing to see. So the next meeting is going to be March 12th.
I didn't know about this meeting.
I think Miranda was initially on the committee.
Okay.
Yes, I don't think that you were added prior to this meeting. I think it was at the very beginning of the year.
Okay.
And Miranda Mrs. Jurgensen was originally, on there. Now you're added.
I do want to echo some of the things that Mr. McKenna was saying. It really was an amazing process to go through all of our schools. The state police's willingness to not just do, high school, middle school, but do every single school. We got, Mr. Schultz and I were part of most of the walkthroughs. We couldn't get to all of them. We got to be pretty good at starting to notice some of, you start to view it through a different lens. So getting the administration involved, the police, or our local police involved, getting the principals involved, you start to see things. So we would walk into a room and spot something in the next school that we wouldn't even have crossed our mind before all of this. So it really was great. We learned a ton. There's so many things we can do to keep our students safer, things we would have never really thought of on our own. And even our local police were, like you said, they were kind enough to no egos there. They were more than happy to receive the information, and they've kind of adjusted some of their procedures with us as well. So it was excellent.
And I would just add to that, Mr. Glenn and I yesterday met with Mr. Sembrino, who's working on the long-range facility plan, and we're going to provide the findings from the security walkthroughs to him so he can incorporate some of those projects into the long-range facility plan as he's updating it.
Thank you. Superintendent's Roundtable, Mrs. Van Dyke and Mrs. Ricano.
I'm back again. So we met on January 16th. The committee brought forth some concerns, some questions, some issues. The first was how transportation communicates. They expressed some concern that the communication to parents is a little delayed when there's an issue on the bus. And that, sometimes the communication comes about 30-plus minutes from when the issue happened. But what Dr. Kitchen and Mr. Novak expressed was that sometimes we are so thin in the transportation department that sometimes the people who would be sending out those communications are actually driving. And we can't have them pulling over to send an email or a voicemail. So because of that, and because of this issue that was brought up, some of the principals have taken on some of the responsibility of communicating that out. They were referencing a particular instance where the bus had been in an accident, but the notification went out as soon as possible, and they followed all of the procedures that they needed to do before the communication went out. So, we have to make sure the students are safe. We have to, get everything together. So, in the particular instance that they referenced, everything happened as it should have. There's a question on field trips and when is there a cutoff date? And the short answer is yes. They typically avoid June based on end of year schedules, and trips should be booked as early as possible, and try to get them scheduled before May 1st for planning purposes. As we all know, there's a new math structure at Macapin, and the parents wanted an update on how that's going, especially with some of our 8th graders taking geometry at the high school. And Mr. Novak gave us the positive info that the current structure is working, and the plan is to keep it the same for next year. There's now an evaluation process in place to ensure students are placed appropriately. And next year's 8th grade geometry students should be the last cohort to go to high school for the first period geometry class. Some follow-ups. There was additional discussion about wonders. Mr. Novak has a meeting with the literacy team, or he must have had it already, to discuss a spring do-over for the presentation that they had in the fall. For parents to see what Wonders is and how they can better support their children. There was an update. It's a common theme with this group of parents at SRT. They want to understand the lice policy and the communication of lice outbreaks in the schools. And kudos to Dr. Kitchen, who attempted to call the county health department and everyone under the sun trying to figure out what the proper guidance was to this. And as of then, he was awaiting an update from the meeting with the nurses.
I have a more recent update than what you were about to say, so maybe I can
Sure,
jump in here. I reached out to the health department, who asked me to reach out to the county superintendent of schools, who asked me to reach out to the health department. So then I reached out to the CDC, and got an answer that, because all I was trying to find out was what can we appropriately share out if there's an outbreak, because there's guidance that you want to help try to avoid spread, but also we have to be mindful of not violating anybody's rights. So at that time I was told that it's appropriate to help try to communicate information so that you avoid spread. And then following that, I received an email last week from the health department where they shared a case that was cited where we are only permitted to communicate with the individuals who are found to have lice. So we had, at that time, had planned to go with a broad email, just being like, your child could have been exposed to lice. Please be mindful of these symptoms, and here are some of the procedures you can follow if you have any issues. But after reading this latest update and the information that came through, and I believe it was cited in the National Nursing Organization, of which I forget the acronym or the name for, but anyway, but that information was then shared back out with the principals, nurses, and so on. So the procedure that it was a long way to find out that what we are doing is the correct thing for us to be doing. But I wanted the backing of knowing exactly why that was the procedure. So we now have information from the health department that tells us we cannot share because there has been legal precedent set on that.
And then a couple more things, and again, I'm going to give kudos to Dr. Kitchen because he followed up on SRT agenda items that he said, hey, I'll get back to you on that. He actually got back to them, which is like the first time since I've been going to SRT I think that's ever happened. So the late bus will not run for the remainder of this year, sadly. It's due to funds, and it can be reevaluated for next year depending on budget. The UGL septic is progressing. Mr. Glenn is looking into every option to get the septic project started and completed ASAP. And
I have more information on that one as well.
All right, let's go.
The other day, Mr. Schultz and I and Mr. Glenn met with our architect and the engineers that they work most closely with to go through the project. What we learned, because keep in mind that all three of us have stepped into our role midstream on this discussion, because this has been dating back to like 2018 that this project first started.
I was just going to say, I feel like this is...
Yeah, so we learned a few things. One of the things we learned was that the recommendation to replace the septic came from a local health department inspection, but not an engineered inspection. We've been digging to try to find some more information on that, but at this point it appears that the most appropriate course of action is for our architect and the engineers they work with to design an inspection that tells us what is truly wrong with the current system, because it could save us a lot of money if we find out we don't need an entire system to be replaced. In the meantime, some of the concerns is the backup and the frequency that we're finding we need to pump. And in meeting with them, we learned more about our current system and some of the different tanks that are there. Former UGL principal, Mr. Novak, probably could have helped to expedite some of this conversation, because some of this information he had just on top of mind from his time in the building. But we did need some details on it from the engineers. There's a more effective way for us to pump the system. It's more significant pumping, more tanks to be pumped, but it can ensure that we're not having the backup. There's not odor associated with it is the hope, and it buys us a little more time in trying to get this whole thing assessed. But the goal is to learn exactly what's wrong, because there's a possibility that not replacing the whole system is still appropriate. It doesn't mean it will be. We might have to replace the whole system, but we want the information to know for sure. The only other thing I would mention is the engineer that we have been working with on this project is, remind me the name of Hauser Engineering. So they don't spec things out for bid. Our architects expressed some concerns with that, so there's a possibility that we'll be sort of looking to adjust partnerships on how we're working with some of these things here moving forward. So to be discussed how we're going to handle it, but just know that yes, it is progressing, but we're taking a deeper dive into it, because it sounds like there may have been some things that could have been handled more effectively in this process, and now that we're taking the lead on it, we want to make sure we're doing it right. So again, hopefully we get the news that we're going to save a whole bunch of money.
Two more things, and this is something that's been in the news lately. There may be a policy guideline coming from the district regarding cell phone usage, particularly at the secondary level. I know our policy committee has talked about it. And the final thing, which was something really cool, is the district is looking to do virtual job fairs for all positions, not just open positions, to try and entice interest in our district and help college students get interview practice. So, and that concludes my SRT report.
Thank you, Mrs. Rocano. Passaic County School Boards Association, Mrs. Van Dyke, and myself.
The meeting is tomorrow.
Yes.
And it is a virtual meeting, so anybody is welcome to sign on. You probably all got an email from Robert about it.
Yeah, and it's on the transformative power of charter schools in New Jersey's public education is their topic, so if anyone is interested. So New Jersey School Boards Association, Mr. Satovich, and myself.
Thank you. So the New Jersey Department of Education, I'm reading this off of the school board's website, they issued a gentle reminder for slackers like me that our 2025 disclosures are due. So let's hand them into Highlander headquarters and get ourselves in compliance. The New Jersey School Boards Association is introducing Capital Watch to inform and empower members. Capital Watch is a new quarterly online newsletter designed to support one of its 3 organizational pillars, advocacy. So I look forward to reporting on that in the future. Should I just flow right into legislative? All
Please
right.
do.
So last year in 2024, the legislature and the governor signed a law that the legislature passed to eliminate praxis basic skills testing as a requirement for teacher certification, and that went into effect on the 1st. And secondly, this is a more touchy topic, but it is important to note that the New Jersey Department of Education updated its school protocols for immigration enforcement to safeguard the well-being of undocumented immigrant students. But it also said that schools must honor valid judicial search or arrest warrants, and that it is vitally important for school officials to obtain a copy and to present it to your district legal counsel before taking any action in response to immigration officials. So it is a subject that I'm sure we're going to have more and more items happening in our news broadcast, and the point is to be informed as school board members as this continues. And that's my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Tovich. Technology oversight, Mrs. Marquardt and Mr. Lepay.
We have nothing at this point, but I'd like to thank the Technology Department for giving us all these services for the official start of a voting process here. Other than that, we'll have one next month.
Perfect. Thank you. Township Board of Education Joint Committee, we have had no meeting, but is there any update at all, Mr. Schultz?
No, the only update I have is that the township, as you already voted on, is applying for a grant for fencing up at the Diagnos Field as part of the phased-in project. That's really the only update I have as of now.
Okay. Have they reached out at all for a meeting or the township?
No, they haven't reached out about this. I know Mr. Kojaki came and met with Doug when they got the walk around the area for the fencing, but that's the only communication I've had on it.
Okay, great. Thank you. West Milford Municipal Alliance, Mrs. Van Dyke.
I have no report.
And Special Education Parent Advisory Committee, Mrs. Marquardt.
So we had our last meeting right here on January 15th. We had presenters from the Academic Success Consultants. They did a dyslexia presentation that was amazing. The presentation will be up on the website along with the minutes from the meeting coming soon. We also we talked about the Blue Envelope Program. So the Blue Envelope Program is for individuals with autism spectrum disorder. They have an envelope that you can get that lets an officer know if they're verbal or nonverbal and other information. This is a really, really great program. And if anybody wants more information on it, they can reach out to our SRO, Sue Novakowski, at the high school, or they can reach out to the West Milford Police Department. But I encourage anyone who has family or friends that could benefit from that service to look into it, because it could actually potentially save a life. We talked about goals and objectives in our IEPs and what we could do to improve them and maybe decrease the amount and aim for more success with achieving them going forward. Our next meeting will be March 12th at Apshua, and that's all for me.
Thank you, Mrs. McCord. Now I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Kitchen, who wants to give a little bit of an update on a little change that we're planning on doing next month to this section.
So for this section, for our committee reports and liaisons, one of the things that I think might be helpful to us is with the shift to school boards and our ability to set up separate sort of governing bodies within school boards, is one thing we can do is set it up so that our committee reports We can take those minutes, and you're writing up the minutes anyway. We take those minutes, we can enter them into school boards so that they become an attachment to the agenda, so you have the chance to sort of review that information. So rather than us going through all the individual reports, and it's presented publicly and verbally, but you have the information readily available to you. So my guess is that it would turn this portion of the meeting into more of other questions about the reports, because you've had a chance to see it, review the information. So I think it gets that information for you, but it also makes sure the information as it's recorded is then part of public record, because it'll go out as an attachment to these meetings. So I think it'll make this part quick and also more effective way for us to share information with one another. So that's the plan. Once we roll out this, once the updated version of Board Docs is available to us, which should be here sometime here in the next week, hopefully, we'll make that shift. So my guess would be that next month we should be able to do committee reports that way. So stay tuned, but I'll obviously touch base with all the individual liaisons to make sure you know how to enter any information and so on.
Anyone got any questions on that at all?
I think it's a great idea.
I agree. I like that it's going to be available on record too for the public, so that they can
We
see
would
it
just send
also.
our minutes, I guess, to Billy.
Like, I don't think we can upload to the actual agenda.
We will be able to with the way it's going to be structured, right? So if you remember, one of the things that one of the benefits to this is we can create separate governing bodies for like individual
right,
committees. So we will just create one that is, committee liaison reports, and the committee liaisons would then have appropriate access to just put that information in there. So it'd be super simple before you just put it in. We'll have to figure out what's the easiest way. I want to make it as convenient for you as possible, but it should be super simple. And then as we're creating the agenda, it'll just get attached. The only potential issue, which really isn't an issue, is, let's say, for example, the agenda closes out, like last Thursday or Friday. So let's say you had a meeting yesterday. Well, it wouldn't make it to, the report wouldn't make it to this month's meeting, but when we get to that section of the agenda, you could just say, we had a meeting yesterday, obviously you don't have this in front of you, you'll see it on next month's, but I wanted to just highlight this one thing from the meeting. So I think that's easy enough to be like, look, if you didn't get it in by that date, no big deal, it goes on the next one. So looking forward to that. I think it'll really be a nice way to communicate.
And will this work so you can give permission to specific people for specific sections, right?
Yep. So we can set it up so we have unlimited
That's what I'm
number.
making sure of.
Yeah, we have an unlimited number of they call them governing bodies, but we have an unlimited number of governing bodies we can put in for different committees or whatever, and then within those we can change all of you have logins for this. So with the login, we can just change what your permissions are for that specific area, which will be really, really helpful, because you'll just be able to edit it, and then we'll be able to pull it and put it onto the agenda. So it should be super straightforward. We'll work through it if there's any issues, but it should be easy.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Kitchen. Old business. Any old business? Mrs. Dwyer?
Do we have any updates on our new website? I was under the impression that it was going to be done a few months ago, and I still don't see it.
So our hope was to roll out January 1. We knew that was a little bit ambitious, but it was our target. It's done. We can go on, we can view it. Everything is rolled over, it's done. The website itself looks very similar to our current website, which there's nothing wrong with our current website. It's just being bought out by a new company, so we'd have to migrate anyway. The switch was not related to the website itself. It was related to the communication piece that goes along with it. And Mr. Winston's been working with the individuals from Apogee, which is the mother company, and then ThrillShare is the communication tool that goes along with it. It's just taken a little longer than we thought to kind of get the social media accounts linked up, to make sure everything is listed in there properly, all the moderated users, because remember, every single staff member, all of our teachers will have moderated user accounts where they could potentially post things that then gets approved by a moderator, can show up on the building pages, on the live feed, and onto the social media pages, and then become more easily shareable. So we could literally turn it on tomorrow if we wanted to, But what I don't want to do is roll to the new website when it's not fully ready to go, because what I don't want, this is an exciting and positive thing, and I don't want it to be undercut by the fact that there's certain things that weren't quite ready. The other thing is that we're noticing is as you are aware, websites they're deep and wide. There's a lot of different rabbit holes that you can go down. We've discovered a few areas on the current website that had outdated information, which means that outdated information is what migrated to the new site. So I don't want to go changing it in two locations to update it on the current site and the new site, but we do want to try to make sure that it's up to date on the new site when the site goes live, because it would be a little weird to say, hey, we got this brand new site. You're like, well, then why is there information on there that's 4 years old on this specific page? So we're kind of trying to go through and really dive into all of that. So it has taken longer than anticipated. We really, really wanted it to be out by January 1. I know we kind of discussed that as a board. It would have been preemptive, and it would have come with some hiccups and inevitably some emails to the board or to us as administration saying, what's the deal with this? So I'd rather it be done once, be done properly. In the meantime, we're functioning fine. We have a website, we have a communication tool. When this one's ready to be done properly, I'm sure there'll still be some thing we missed, but at least we're in good shape with it.
Thank you. Will you be engaging staff to test it out? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Will you be engaging staff and administrators to go through the website and look at content? Because while I understand that, you guys and Mr. Winston and that are going through it, our staff and our principals and our supervisors probably would be able to look at things that pertain to them.
Yes.
And see something very easily that's outdated or that's missing.
So we actually have done that. So we went a couple departments, we asked them to go through and update some specific areas that we noticed, and then we shared out with other administrators to be like, hey, take a look at your building pages and so on. So we have done that. I still like to try to get my eyes on as much of it as possible to be that I feel good about it, but yes, that's been done, and it will continue to be done. Yes.
So currently, is anybody updating what's on there now or no?
On the current website.
Yeah, so if I open Highlander Press Volume 4, it's June of 2024.
So
that's on the main page.
Yeah.
But if I scroll, I see kindergarten registration for 24-25. I feel like that probably should be on the main page, not the Highlander Press. And you're on the main page. I like it, but you're not new anymore.
So there is some stuff there that needs to be updated. Some of it should be quick and easy that we can change. Some of it I was like, look, I don't need to update it on both places. Make sure it's current on the new website, and then the sooner we get to the new website, we don't have to worry about that. The more time it takes to get there, the more outdated the current website feels because it's still problematic.
I think some of these things you probably could just pull off in 15 minutes.
We'll take a look.
Yeah. Especially on the main page. That's where people are coming first.
Yeah.
Any other old business?
Move to close old business.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? New business. We do you want to do the recognition month
Yes.
first? Okay.
So again, as I mentioned earlier, it is School Board Recognition Month. I know usually Mrs. Ricano likes to read these motions, but I feel like since you're being recognized, you probably shouldn't have to read the motion. So sorry to steal this one from you, but I'm going to go ahead and read this motion. Whereas the New Jersey School Boards Association has declared January 2025 to be School Board Recognition Month, a time when all residents can acknowledge the contributions made by our local school board members. And whereas the West Milford Board of Education is one of more than 581 local school boards in New Jersey which sets policies and oversees operations for public school districts. And whereas the West Milford Board of Education embraces the goal of high-quality education for all New Jersey public school students, and whereas the New Jersey's local school boards help determine the educational goals for approximately 1.4 million children in pre-K through 12th grade. And whereas New Jersey's 5,000 local school board members who receive no remuneration for their services, act as advocates for public school students as they work with administrators, teachers, and parents for the betterment of public education. And whereas school boards strive to provide the resources necessary to meet the needs of all students, including those with special needs. And whereas boards of education provide accountability to the public, they communicate the needs of the school district to the public, and they convey the school administrators, the public's expectations for the schools. And whereas New Jersey can take pride in its schools, which rank among the nation's best in key achievement indicators such as the National Assessment of Educational Progress scores and the preparation for college through advanced placement offerings and SAT assessments. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the West Milford Board of Education does hereby recognize the service of local school board members throughout New Jersey as we join communities statewide in observing January 2025 as School Board Recognition Month. And be it further resolved that the West Milford Board of Education urges all New Jersey citizens to work with their local boards of education and public school staffs towards the advancement of our children's education.
Could I have someone make a motion to move that resolution and second it?
But you have to read it again.
I'd like to make a motion to move all of what he just said, every whereas.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Look at that for you. Here you go.
Thank you.
It's like voting on your own raise.
Growing raises.
You can do that if you want. Just go in all 3 days. Well,
I think by now you all know me well enough to know I don't mind talking in front of people. I really don't enjoy reading in front of people, so made it.
Okay, not a whereas.
Thank you, Dr. Kitchen, for that recognition. All right, any other new business? Mr. Sitovich.
So every month, we have an administration that brings to the table so many great things that happen in our district. We get these great reports from our young students. We get all sorts of award ceremonies, and my new business tonight is hoping that we have more press releases that recognize things like award-winning grants and new programs that are entering districts, because right now I feel that isn't absent, but it's not as recognized as it should be. And my hope is that in the near future, we do have a district that's more proactive in celebrating those moments publicly, because you folks deserve it.
Thank you, and to Mrs. Dwyer's point, once we get this new website rolling, it's not just about the website, it is about being able to push that information out in publicly consumable forums, and I think that'll go a really, really long way to getting the word out on things like tonight's recognition. This was great, and it was great for us to see it and take the pictures with the kids, and but our audience is limited to those who are actively consuming this, whereas once we have the ability to push that information out, we'll get more eyes on it, so that'll be great.
And we also recently provided all of our building principals and a couple department leads with access to the SMORE newsletter platform. I did a few newsletters with it last year. I know Dr. Schwartz has been piloting it at the Apshua School. It's a very professional looking resource that allows all of our building leaders to create, really great looking newsletters for their schools. We also have one for the guidance department. We have one for special services. We have one for they collect right now because of the number of licenses we have. I have a collective license for our content area supervisors. So building leads, guidance, special education, and our departments as a whole. So we just gave them their access. They'll be receiving training probably initially at our February PD day, and then we should see a process where we unify how we want these things to go out. We want to get away from the You know, the pandemic era, quick snippet, you know, quick snippet email communication, you know, with these, you know, professional-looking resources.
Dr. Fowler sends out a newsletter every Friday. That's fantastic. So, I mean, we're new to UGL, but that we've been getting that since the beginning of the school year. I don't know how long he's been doing it, but it's an excellent newsletter with everything in it. So,
Any other new business?
Move to close new business.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? Public comment, agenda or non-agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak? Mr. Romeo?
Yeah. That means you have to read something, right?
It is, but you have to come up. Hold on,
We're just trying to.
I have to pull it up.
Ah, all right.
Because it's on the computer. So all speakers will have 5 minutes to speak until a period of 30 minutes transpires. Before speaking, please state your name, group affiliation, and address for the record. Members of the public who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be recognized by the chair first. After speaking, all speakers are asked to sign the register provided and give their full name, group affiliation, and their address. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are expected to have read the statement within the agenda regarding the regulations concerning public comments. Members of the public are reminded that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Mrs. Romeo.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to, I guess, make a few reminders of things that we've talked about in the past, and then some new comments. So one of the things from the past is parents are still getting texts if they have children at different schools. We get texts that say West Milford schools, and then it might say a bus is running late, or it's Gold Sock Day tomorrow, but did that just come from UGL, Alachua, or Marshall Hill? We don't know. So when the texts come out, if it could be identified what school they're coming from, it would be really helpful for parents that have students, even if they're at Macapan and Maple Road, So that's a reminder. I'm really concerned that in Tara's report from the SRT, that you're making any cuts to a budget that's been approved on. Spring sports is about to bring out, I don't know how many students, but I hope that you know and that you're discussing that. But why would we be cutting anything right now? It was never in the budget.
Yeah, so that was not in this current budget. It was in for the fall, but not beyond the fall. So it hasn't been cut from the current budget. It was never budgeted in.
Thank you. So when we budget for a late bus, we don't budget for the whole year, we budget for a season. Okay. My next thing, I'm just gonna go like kind of in order of what I heard, is I
Point of
also.
clarification, it wasn't budgeted for the fall, it was approved for the fall, having not been budgeted at all. And we were able to make it work for that season, but not throughout the whole year, and it would be a discussion in the budget.
So I guess what I'm hearing you guys say is that when the transportation budget comes, that it's never in the transportation budget, the late bus,
The late bus is, but not the late bus.
the 5:30.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cut a number of years ago. We've added it back a couple times the last couple of falls for the need for band and other sports in the fall, but that's the busiest time that we've needed it. So we've used it in the fall the last 2 years, but we don't have the late bus for the other seasons.
Okay. Thank you. Being a high school educator, and anyone that's gone to high school, so that probably includes every single one of us here, we know that educators will often tell high school students, well, it's because we're preparing you for the rest of your life, or for when you have a job, or when you're a professional, or whatever it is that you're doing next. And so when we make policies like the late policy, and we say, well, you can't be late, or you could be late 5 times, and then you get a detention, and then you get a cut, and then you get a class drop or whatever it is that you're making policy about with high school students, it's because we're often preparing them for the next thing. And so we could also talk about that with the absence policy. And so I really hope that as a policy committee that you're really truly thinking about how we're preparing students for the future if we're going to take this out of their hands. Because I know that in strategic planning, we talked about including technology, we talked about success of our students for the future, and I think that the whole idea is that if mom's calling right now while I'm speaking to the Board of Education, I'm not going to answer that, because I'm in the middle of something. So if you're taking a test, your phone should be in your backpack or in your locker, or but the minute that we start to take these freedoms and these things from kids, how are we preparing them for the future? So I wanted to comment on that as you're saying that that's something that you're going to be talking about soon. I attended the CPAC meeting, and there were a lot of concerns that I had. I probably should have Dr. Reza does a great job. The presentation was phenomenal. I am concerned about some upcoming trainings that are being done, and I wanted to mention there are districts nearby that are using programs just like West Milford uses iReady to test our students to get levels. There are districts that are using programs to help write their IPs. One of the ones right now that everybody's talking about that you can pull up an app, you can Google it.
I move to extend the speaker's time.
I'm almost done, but thank you, Will. Do you have to vote on it? Is Goalbook, Goalbook. I see Dr. Reza shaking his head, yes. Phenomenal. Special ed, can I continue? Do you guys have to vote on it? I'm almost done.
You do have to vote.
You said you're almost done.
I am, okay.
Because we did have a little bit of a minute. We took a minute of your time, so.
Thank you. So Goalbook is amazing. I don't know what it costs. I mean, I'm not in that seat anymore, so it's not, but as an educator and a parent, it is something that I really hope that the district I live in will look at. Programs that will bring professionalism to IEPs, that we know that we're following them, and things that we know that kids can reach, and then how do we collect that data? And so this is a way of, it's not just the human training part, but it's the part where, in real time, Caitlin and I were just saying how there's drop-down menus, and then they type in the IEPs, and then this adds a whole different level of accountability and its onus on everybody communicating and working together. I just think that having one trainer come in or having someone, I really, wasn't keen on that personally, but also a lot of the parents were talking about it after, talking about goals and objectives and how we want to work together and make them something that our students and our staff can work on, obviously, in the classroom, and make this a real important thing with the right programs and the right people, all of us. So that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Romeo. Anyone else wishing to speak?
No, but I am
Close public
stealing Ryan's
comments.
water. Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Executive session, Mrs. Ricano, we need about 30 minutes.
At 8:24 p.m., I move that the board go into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel appointments, resignations, current litigation matters, special education matters, negotiations, HIBs, and matters of attorney-client privilege. The executive session minutes will not be released until such time as the privilege or confidentiality is no longer applicable. The board will be in executive session for approximately 30 minutes, and no action will be taken, so we will adjourn from executive session.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everyone.